It's fun educating you on why things are the way they are on those shows. The short answer is no time. No time at all. A lot of that is it's just a Japan thing as well. Like, they don't, like One Piece and stuff, instead of taking it off the air, they just do like months of filler. Whereas like over here in America, they don't do that, right? They pretty much only do that for like soap operas and stuff. But soap operas cost like nothing to make because it's just people in rooms talking. Yeah, I don't know why Japan is like that. I feel like a lot of the anime and stuff would be better quality if they would just take it off the air. Yeah, Naruto did that, so did Bleach. The transition between the time skip, the first Naruto and the time skip one, was like months of filler. Same thing with Bleach. Bleach did like 9 months of filler instead of just taking it off the air. What made Bleach worse was that they stopped animating it. They did like almost a year of filler, and then and then they just gave up on animating it. My roommates at the time were pissed. They were super into Bleach. They had like the wall scrolls and the DVDs and everything, and I just got to see them just get less and less interested in it because they just killed it. That's why Bleach died. No, shonen anime and stuff that are still being written by the author, basically what happens is they can't get ahead of what the author is writing. And because their culture is really weird with stuff like that, and they don't just do things in seasons like we do, they just do filler. I don't get why their culture is like that. It's nothing to do with like important racial stuff or anything. It's just like, we need this show to be on all the time. It's interesting here, it's like common. You burn through a show and then it's off the air for like months. It doesn't come back. Dragon Ball as well. That's why they did Dragon Ball Kai. Dragon Ball Kai was pretty much taking out all the filler. It was a result of animating the show while the author is still writing it. And they're only like maybe a couple months ahead of what the author is currently writing. That's why a lot of people tell you to read the manga for a lot of those shonen like battle anime series, because there's like not as much padding. Obviously, it's still a comic that has to be out every week, so it's not like it's immune to padding and filler, but there's less of it. I know a lot of people do like One Piece. They like speed run through the manga instead of watching the anime, because even with the filler guide, there's still like hundreds of episodes to watch. Yeah, Naruto did like months of filler. Bleach was the worst though, because they stopped animating it like right after. Like, thanks for nothing, I guess. What was the point of all the filler if you're not going to actually finish? Like, just cancel the show. Well, Bleach is pretty interesting because of how much they fucked up that series. Like, the manga and the anime. The way that they handled the anime kind of killed its popularity. I've heard that some of the anime filler is actually pretty interesting for those shows, but there's still the problem of like, well, nothing really interesting is going to happen. Because it's not what the author's writing. The author has like little or no input over it, so it's kind of like a waste of time to watch, really. Yeah, Bleach did a ton of filler, and I think they came back for a little bit, and then they rage quit. They gave up on it. They're going back and they're animating the rest. I think that actually started recently. But yeah, Bleach's trajectory from being like competing with like One Piece and Naruto to being nothing. It's pretty interesting. There's probably videos about it. I didn't watch the show myself, but I lived with people who did. I lived in a bachelor pad with my friends at the time, and they were super into it. I don't watch anime. I just play games, as you know, but it's interesting. Like, every week, they were getting less and less interested in watching, because it's just like Seinfeld status, nothing going on. Bleach had an abrupt ending in the manga and the anime, I think. Like, it got canned in the Shonen Jump. I guess they wanted to find something more profitable, like My Hero. Their anime is like that too. They One Piece and Naruto. There was that famous fight with Naruto. What's that character name? Pain. And it has like a lot of really awful animation. They get crunched to do that shit too. The way they do it on those like shonen anime though is that they just animate things like really poorly to save money for like a big fight. One Piece does that a lot, from what I understand. Naruto did it. Dragon Ball, another one. Yeah, they've done dinosaurs in Sentai like 3 times now. It's Zyuranger, and then Kyoryuger, and then Ryusoldier is the most recent one. That was the 2019 season. they've done ninjas 3 times as well. They've only done martial arts twice. No. Super Sentai has no continuity outside of, like, crossovers and stuff. It's like Final Fantasy and Tales. They've done a couple sequels, but for the most part, everything is self-contained. The reason Power Rangers even has any continuity is because they didn't want to change the suits in Mighty Morphin because they were worried that kids wouldn't watch anymore. So they had to tie stuff together that has no actual relation. That's why they, like, upgrade from the stuff that they had in Zeo, like the big-ass pyramid, Pyramidus and stuff, to, like, just cars. It's like, it's not really an upgrade. In what sense is that an upgrade? It's not. It's because it's not supposed to be. That's why they stopped doing the whole continuity thing for the most part, because it stopped making sense. Dino Thunder's a good season. Mostly just because they had Tommy there, but he was actually a mentor. He wasn't overpowering everything like he did on his prime. It's always like Tommy was the only one that mattered. And when they brought him back, they actually made it so he didn't just do everything. But a lot of that was also, to be fair, was also because they, the agreement for him to come back was that he was only going to be there for half the season. Like, he went back to America to do, I guess, IRL stuff. Like, that was always planned. You're wondering why he gets stuck in the suit and he, like, can't take a piss or eat or anything for, like, 6 months. That's why. And that was the condition that he came back to the show, was that they needed to let him go back and take care of his family and his business and stuff. Yeah, I'd say that's kind of a flaw of that season, but that was like the only way that they were able to get him to come back. He didn't want to be there for a year, so. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that either. That was always planned. It wasn't something that just happened unplanned. It was always planned. He basically told them, either you let me go back home and take care of stuff, or I'm not coming back. You know, they have to move to New Zealand for months to shoot those shows now, so it's a pretty big ask, especially with how little they get paid. They're not paying them nearly enough to kind of just throw their lives away and be in another country for that long. So props to him for doing that. I think that was actually a good thing, even though the story kind of suffered because of it. Dino Thunder also has the whole evil White Ranger plot, which is just they couldn't not do that because of the Sentai. Aba Ranger, the White Ranger, did not ever really turn good. He didn't have a face turn until like the last episode, so they had to be able to use all that footage of them fighting, but they didn't want him to. They didn't want Trent to like not join the party until the end because then they can't sell toys. So that kind of sucks about that season too. It is literally unavoidable. I didn't watch the Power Rangers version of that season. I watched the Sentai for that one. Is there a lot of Red Ranger focus? Because there was in the Sentai. I feel like it'd be really hard to avoid that. The Red Ranger in the Sentai version of that was like overpowered. He was like straight busted. There was a lot of focus on him to the expense of the other characters. So must have been hard to like not do that. I don't know if they did that in Dino Charge, but haven't been too many good Kingdom Hearts 3 mods, huh? Seems like it's dying down a little bit. You're making a lot of cool stuff, but it's not much else. I guess now's a good time to jump in and play it. I only played it for like 20 hours. Definitely should go back and play it more. Props to the Kingdom Hearts community though. They fixed a lot of problems. I wish we got that for Arise. Yeah, I'm looking at date published right now. Yeah, Lothor was a good villain because he was like lampshading super, Power Rangers stuff, but he was also serious. He had a serious backstory, and he was pretty threatening later on. That show doesn't have that much in common with the Sentai, actually. It would have been cool if they kept the Shuri Kenjer gimmick, but that's not something that could have happened because that was when they moved to New Zealand. Shuri Kenjer's gimmick was really cool. It would have been cool to see that in Power Rangers, but it's just not something that could have happened. The logistics of doing that. Basically, he didn't have an actual identity. He's basically a dead suit. But the way that they did it is they brought back. He had like different identities, and the identities were like Sentai veterans from like 10, 20 years prior. And he changed into. They brought back a lot of veteran actors to do it, which is really cool if you've been watching for a long time. But Power Rangers couldn't do that. If it was still shot in LA, they probably could have done that, but yeah, Dino Thunder and the Abba Ranger have like nothing in common. They're like completely different shows. I'd say the biggest change is the White Ranger, Trent, joining the party. Other than that, they have like nothing in common. Like completely different shows. I think that's when Power Rangers is the best. No, the Mystic Mother was Rita Repulsa's actor. That's literally Rita Repulsa from the first season. That's why they tried to tie that together. It didn't really work that well. It is. Yes.
We need to get to the top of the mountain and start babies.
Guess now we know why the river's flooded.
Try this. Back off. Take this. There. It can't be.
I'm not very good at this. I'm not very good at this game. I've also got that really awkward manual Helmbreaker mod. I think I'm going to turn that off because it makes things awkward. That's part of the problem.
Top of the mountain and stop Hades. Here we go.
That's odd. The river's never this full. Yes, now we know why the river's flooded.
There. You're through. Thank you. Try this. Back Nice.
It's crazy how good this port is. Very good port. It's a very good port. Just kind of just works. And I think I'm going to turn off that Helmbreaker because it's like really screwing me up. It's not the fact that I have the restyle mod on. It's when I hold forward, he does that.
To the top of the mountain and stop Hades.
Gives you manual high time like that. I guess I just have to get used to it. It's nice to have.
Never this full. Yes, now we know why the river's flooded.
Yeah, I turned it off. Let's try playing without it for a little bit. Maybe I can get used to that later. Not really an expert on this game.
You called for a hero? Try this! Yeah! Back off! Yeah! Take this! Yeah! Back off! Hurts for you! Yeah! There! Looks like we can climb that rock face now that the waterfall's gone.
Alright, I'm gonna turn on the one shot because I don't like fighting the Rock Titan. Where is that? I'll turn that on for now. I like fighting that big thing. Kind of a... not janky, just gimmick fight. They really went all out with this first world, didn't they? They really wanted you to feel like Kingdom Hearts was getting like an actual new game instead of those shitty ones from the Osaka team that were stuck on the PSP and the DS. And then like the other worlds aren't anywhere near this involved. Until they like made this first and they put like a lot of work into it. And then the rest, like, just wasn't time. Nice. It's nice to have that. I do that on that shitty fight where you're on the bird and you're fighting that big dragon Heartless. That fight is, like, awful. Alright, you can turn that off now. There we go. This part's a pretty big roadblock, I remember. On the harder difficulties. It's kind of the football charge you. Super Bowl practice. What's up? Yeah, I had some chicken tendies for dinner from the deli. I'm getting pretty hungry, and I think I'm gonna get to the, what's it called, the air stepping? It's cool that you met him from, it's cool that you met him from YouTube. There's been people that have met on Twitch and stuff, and they, I guess they work out. I don't know. I met some good friends through Tales too. Still friends with some of them.
Here's our ticket up.
I met one of my... I haven't met a significant other, obviously, but I met a good friend of mine through this channel. He just kind of offered to talk to me, and I've been talking to him for a while. It's cool that kind of thing can happen.
Get him!
Nah, my parents met online. I just don't... I don't really mention that anymore, because they're divorced, and they don't even talk to each other anymore. But that is something that, it did happen. My parents met online on a game. It's not something I really openly talk about anymore, because it's not really valid. They couldn't really stand each other anymore. What the hell am I supposed to do? I hated this boss. It's too hard to tell what's going on. This game needed more human bosses. That's what I didn't like about the first playthrough on this. Too many big monsters. Just like a normal boss fight. Why is the one-shot thing not working? There, good. It's nice to look at, but it's kind of just like hard to follow.
Back off!
Yeah, but they really blew their load on this first world here. I mean, it was a good choice. It really gets you hyped up for, like, the first not shit Kingdom Hearts game in years, but I don't really think they kept that quality throughout the rest of it. The rest of the worlds feel like really bare bones, and they're not as visually vibrant. They really blew their load the beginning of this game, and then kind of... I wouldn't say it falls flat, it just depreciates in quality. But this game had development hell for a long time. It was vaporware for ages. Hopefully they have a smoother pipeline for the fourth one. I think they announced that too early, though. Hot take. I know people are looking forward to it, but they basically already said, like, we have, like, nothing done on this. The only reason they announced it is because they were trying to prevent Diablo Immortal Syndrome, which is when you tell people to tune into an event, and you just announce a bunch of shitty mobile games. That's the only reason why they announced it. It's nowhere near ready. That game coming out even next year is pretty unlikely. It's good that they did that, because they learned from Blizzard. You don't tell people to go fly out and watch this press conference or whatever, and then just announce a mobile game. That makes gamers really, really rabid. That's a good thing about Diablo Immortal, despite that game's flaws, is it taught game publishers to not fucking do that. Even if you just have like a CG trailer for like an actual proper game, it's better than having nothing. Like you just have like some mobile game or something. I think a lot of people are probably questioning why they did that. Like, that's why. It's the only reason. Diablo Immortal Syndrome is a very terminal disease. Like, hey, you guys you're excited for these console and PC games. We're going to announce some outsourced mobile game that will probably shut down in 6 months, and then question why the most hardcore people watching or going to those events is not excited for that. Fucking Diablo Immortal, man. They announced that at BlizzCon, by the way. That was not just a live stream event. It was like an actual convention. And that was like all they had was that. I would have been pissed too if I was there. I would have been furious. No, you could meet people anywhere. The right people, whether they're friends or partners or whatever. You can meet them anywhere. It doesn't matter where you meet them. It's weird how people gatekeep how you're supposed to meet, like, your best friends and stuff. It just kind of happens. Good people just kind of come into your life naturally. Unfortunately, they can also leave, just randomly. Sometimes people you think are going to be around forever can just kind of bail on you. But I think with the internet and stuff, you shouldn't limit where you meet people. The days of just meeting people at bars and stuff is, like, long gone. That's not the only way that you can meet people. I'm not even talking about strictly romantic relationships, just like friends and stuff. Sometimes they just kind of come into your life. It's weird how people get weird when you say, like, you met this person online. I'm not even talking about, like, a partner. Just like, you're living with people you met online or whatever. It's like, well, so what? Doesn't matter. The good people that want you around, that's all that really matters. Plus, a lot of the people that we grow up with drift away. They change. Most common way is they get married, but other ways it's just like they don't vibe with you anymore. Whereas you meet people on the internet and it's from like an actual connection, a similar interest in something like games or movies or TV shows or comics or whatever. Like, you already have that going in, so You kind of find that common ground, and it's a lot easier to do that on the internet versus in person. In person, finding people like that is kind of just random, unless you're at like a convention or something with that interest. Yeah, a lot of my best friends are just like internet friends now. I still have a couple like friends from when I was younger, but a lot of them drifted away. They're married or they're like not nerds anymore, so it's not like anything happened. It's just they're different people now. It kind of sucks, but that's just part of growing up, really. People, it's something I've had to kind of come to terms with. People can just kind of leave. It can be like no fault of your own. Like they just either treat you like shit or they just don't vibe with you anymore, and they're gone. There's a good post about this years back. It's like your Facebook friends are old friends you have nothing in common with anymore, and the people that you shit post with for like games or movies or whatever, Super Sentai or Kamen Rider or whatever, you have like everything in common with those people, and you've like never even met them. That the people you still have on your Facebook from like 10, 20, maybe even 30 years ago, you have like nothing in common with them anymore. They all turned into like normies or protein junkies or or both. Some of them become normies and protein junkies, and they have like 10 kids. Like they don't care about that nerdy friend from high school anymore. It's interesting to think about, but that's what's one of the cool things about the internet. There's a lot of bad things about the internet, but it's cool how you can meet people through similar interests and they can become like very important people in your life, like best friends or roommates or romantic relationships. Anyway, I think I'm done for tonight. It's like 2 in the morning. I don't feel like booting anything else up. We'll probably play more Kingdom Hearts later. I can just use that built-in cheat engine to get past all the shit bosses. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice that they added that. I might try some more Wolong later, but I just can't. I can barely force myself to play that game. It's so boring and one-dimensional. I'm thinking of starting something else next. I'll have to figure out what my next game is going to be. Yeah, it's going to do it for tonight, folks. I'm going to go ahead and take my meds and have a light snack so that my tummy doesn't get upset. Because the thing with me, I lowered my medication dose. I cut one of my doses in half. So, which is a good thing. I'm doing better with my mental health, so I don't need to be so heavily sedated on meds anymore. But the problem is I have a hard time going to sleep, so it takes me like a good 90 minutes to 2 hours to fall asleep. So I'm like, yeah, I do feel like playing more games, but I'm looking at like a 4 a.m. sleep time if I keep going. So yeah, thanks for stopping by. It's nice to talk to you guys. I really need to raise funds for financial security, so I'm going to try to do like maybe 2 streams a day. And if I can raise a little bit of funds, I think everything will be a-okay. But my neighbor has not been able to pay me much, and I've had to pay for a lot of their stuff because of their situation. So I definitely need quite a bit of help. So you'll see more of me probably maybe later today.